Hey guys, so I was watching, I purchased this firearm, it's a JTS 12 AR, before watching the reviews, and I ended up checking out a review after I took it out and shot it a couple times, had a bunch of failures. The review I was watching was John on Whisper Tactical. I did not have the same issue he had with the shells sticking up in the air in the magazine, but after I got it back, I only shot probably 35 rounds through it. I think I was using these. They are 1165 FPS Fiachi, 1/1/8 ounce. So got it back home, took it all apart. Noticed that the shells were getting eaten up pretty bad. I mean, you can actually see the shot in there. They're all like that, all cut up. So got to looking, and I noticed that inside here it's really sharp. So I took the barrel off. I don't know how well you can see that. Polished the hell out of it. Right in there where that meets the barrel, that's really sharp and it was sticking up. So I took care of that. Polished it up, went down to about a 2000 grit after hitting it with the Dremel and whatnot. You can take the trunnion off, but I suggest you don't take the trunnion off, because once you start working, you really can't see in there. Once you start working in there, you're going to end up increasing that gap between the trunnion and the barrel. So, I mean, it's up to you how you do it, but I think it's best to leave it together, polish it, and get all the nicks and stuff out of there while it's together. Keep it in one piece. And then I noticed the issues with the buffer tube. I had the same issues with his. It was loose, and I noticed how rough it was inside there. So I replaced the buffer tube with this is a rifle length adjustable buffer. It is not your standard buffer. Your standard buffer is much shorter. You need the rifle length buffer, whether it be just the standard rifle buffer or the collapsible, it's got to be rifle length. And then I went out and I picked up the large frame AR-10 standard weight JP Enterprises captured spring, which is right here. And normally that would come with Teflon or Delrin, I don't know what it's made out of, puck as a spacer, but you need the full travel of the bolt. So what I did was I cut down a piece of standard buffer spring until I got the right travel, because you're going to lose some travel with under compression. And did that, removed the plunger, the retainer for the buffer, because I don't need that anymore. And then I also noticed a lot of gas escaping through the front of the gas key. So I got some, I believe they're 1.3 millimeter O-rings. Threw those on there. They fit real good, and that'll keep the gas basically where it needs to be. It's okay if it goes back this way a bit. That doesn't hurt anything all that much, but I put one on both sides. I was gonna actually initially tap out the gas port, then I realized how massive it already is. It's huge, and it collects a lot of dirt. This puck and everything was full of basically it looks like rocks. All that carbon and everything piles up in there. So I clean that shit out fairly often with this firearm. Aside from that, let's see here. Oh, I did cycle the bolt. I noticed without ammo in the gun, it was really stiff on lockup and when it unlocked. So what I did is I took off, I don't know, thousandths or so. I took off a little bit on the locking lugs. I wouldn't do that on a rifle, but it's a shotgun. You know, I mean, you can build one out of a piece of aluminum tubing. But anyway, took a little bit off at a time until it cycled smooth without a round in it. Of course, once you have the round in it, it's going to be a little snug, which is kind of what you want, but I figured any help you can get, you know, cycling, that'd be fine. And then I polished the hell out of the bottom of the bolt carrier. Did not do the hammer. Hammer's pretty smooth. I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to put this thing back together. I'm going to take it out, try the Fiachi, and then I also got, let's see here. So here's the Fiachi. I'm also going to be using a 1250 FPS Federal, 1300 Winchester, and a 1200 Shooting Dynamics. So see if all those cycle. This one did not do too well, but I want to be able to run everything. So I'll get this back together, take it out, and show you guys whether it works or not. Hopefully it does. It might be a big flop. Stay tuned. Okay, so I put her back together. I loaded a bunch of fresh Fiocchi and cycled it. Seems to be cycling a lot smoother, nicer, but there is still something in there slicing the shit out of these shells. So I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna take it out, shoot it anyway. And then when I get back, I'm gonna investigate a little further and see exactly where that's at. That one, I think I cycled 3 times. So you got cut right there, little one right there, and then on the edge. But yeah, it is, that one was cycled twice. I don't know what the hell is doing that, but I can't feel, there's nothing sharp in here. I don't know. So I'm gonna take it out and shoot it, and then inspect my casing or cases, and then come back and try to find out what the hell's eating this thing. Just a quick overview of what I did before I test fire this thing. Replaced the buffer tube with a rifle length 6-position buffer tube. Replace the spring and buffer with a JP Enterprises captured buffer spring and short section or spacer cut from a regular buffer spring. Removed the barrel, reworked and polished the feed ramp, got rid of the sharp areas. Polished and buffed the bottom of the bolt. Let's see here, what else? Just basically look for any like sharp edges and stuff. I'm still getting cuts on the shells. I'm not sure where that's from, so I have a feeling this is not going to function. So if it doesn't function, then it's probably whatever is cutting up these shells is causing the malfunction, and or the extractor and ejector. So I might have to rework the extractor and injector after I find out what's cutting these up. So I'm going to start with 1245 Fiocchi, and then I'm going to move up to a, what's the other one? Actually, I'm going to start with a 1165 FPS Fiocchi, move up to a 1200 FPS Fiocchi, and then the 1250 Federal and the 1300 Winchester, and see how this all works out. And then probably have to go back to the garage and fiddle fuck with it for a little longer and figure out what's cutting up my shells. Sorry I couldn't get my kids or wife to come out here, so this video is gonna kind of suck. I got nobody to hold the camera, so bear with me. All right, this is the 1165 Fiocchi, or however you pronounce it. Worked. I'll try one more meg of that. I preloaded 1 round in there, so there's 6 rounds. I noticed it didn't like that before, so I'm going to try that. That's still the 1165 Fiocchi. Extractor. Okay, now I'm going to go to the 1200. Extractor. Federal Top Gun 1250 FPS. That seemed to work. I'll try one more of those. All right, now I'm going to try the Winchester 1300 velocity. These seem to have a softer shell on them, kind of like the Fiocchi. Those seem to work. Let's see here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to load up 2 mags of the 1250 Federal and see how that runs. I like that stuff. All right, now I'm gonna mix and match just a bunch of different random 4 rounds into 2 mags. Failure to eject on the Fiocchi. Doesn't like that shit. That was 11 or 1200 FPS. All right, so now I'm loaded 1300 FPS Winchester, or what the hell was that? Yep, the Winchester, and then the Fiocchi 1200. So it's Fiocchi Winchester on both mags. Running a hell of a lot better than it was. I'm gonna check all these shells and see how many are all cut up, if that issue's still present. It doesn't like the softer, I think it's the softer material on these. These have been the only ones that's really malfunctioning on. Full mag of the Winchester and a full mag of the Fiocchi. So far that has only happened on these. Round is in the chamber. It seems to feed on everything except that Fiocchi, both the 1145 and the 1200 FPS. And I think it's that soft shell casing. Wherever it's getting cut it's grabbing that. I think that's what's messing it up. As far as extracting, I don't know why it's not extracting on the Fuyoshi. It seems to be doing fine on everything else. Maybe it's the rear of the shell. It's not catching properly. Maybe with the extractor. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it. I got nothing left, so it's the end of this video.